Okay, there we go. Good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you all had a good day. It was a great day for me. The Cowboys won. The Yankees won. The Yankees are in the playoffs. So I'm very, very happy. And I don't even want to hear about, I stopped watching football. It's cool. You don't have to watch it. I'll watch it for you. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you guys had a good day. We had an all-day rain event here, and but welcome, welcome everybody. Glad to see so many faces, familiar faces, of course. Always familiar faces in the chat, which is always nice. You guys are awesome. So before we get into anything here, I want to remind everybody once again. Yeah, Dale's got lucky my butt. Yeah, okay. Um, Remember, very family friendly oriented channel. Hey Cherokee man, how you doing, man? Welcome. Uh, I know I see the Steelers loss again too, which is awesome. I can't stand Steelers. Never could. Growing up in the '70s and being a Cowboy fan and all that, and Steelers they had some good battles back in the day. But so I've never been a Steeler fan. Again, you know what? You get your team. You better follow your team and support them through the good times and through the bad times, and I always will. I will always be die hard no matter what. So, but anyway, again, family friendly oriented channel. Please, I would ask everybody to please be decent in the chat and no racism, no nastiness, none of that nonsense. If you can't behave yourself, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here. JJ, be a Steelers fan all day, JJ. There's no accounting for poor taste. That's the coolest thing. Well, I'll tell you what. I've probably had like some of the most fun conversations. I got to tell you this. Uh, I've been a diehard Yankee fan since I can remember, and I love to get together with another diehard Boston Red Sox fan, and because it's fun, just that back and forth, and it's a fun part of it, and I enjoy that. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I don't care what team you like. I mean, that's just support your team. That's what I always say. It's always support your team, and that's the way it should be. But hey, I love your channel, and you're the real deal when it comes to prepping. You keep it 100% real. Thank you very much. That's Jay the Soul Large Guy. I think Jay the Solar Guy. I know who that is. I had a conversation with you, man. Yes, Jay the Solar Guy. All right. Yeah, we had a conversation not that long ago. Um, so we had good discussion. Good discussion as well. Yeah, you know what, guys? I'll tell you what. I don't know any other way to be straight up, just to say it like it is. Sometimes that hurts people's feelings, but sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes people don't like to take that good, long, hard look at things. Now, obviously, I'm giving you my perspective, my opinion. Hey, there's Asif's in the chat. Welcome, Asif, tonight. Um, but we all have our own view of things. Where I may look at things one way, somebody else may look at it a completely different way. That's the beauty of the country that we live in. We can have different perspectives of stuff. So, all right. So we're going to talk about reaching the edge and having enough. And people are getting there. And I think things is as things get worse and worse, it amazes me now, and I want you to think about this. Now, anybody that watches this channel knows I have been preaching prepping from the beginning. And very early on, I always said the prices of food is never going to be cheaper than it is today. Said that many, many times. And you look at where the prices of food have gone. You go into a grocery store and you can spend $200 without blinking an eye and have just a couple bags worth of groceries, depending on what you're getting. And it is amazing to me that more people are not, planning ahead for the unforeseen. It really does blow me away. So, but that's one of the things that I've always said. And like I said, you don't have to do it all at once. Steady, steady, steady. I was watching Alaskan Prepper earlier today, and he had a gentleman came on his chat and was saying that he had bought, like, every time he goes to the store, he buys 2 cans of meat. Well, he said he was up to, like, I think, like 150 cans of meat. And Alaskan Prepper was saying that's like 6 months worth of meat for two people, and that's as simple as it is. It's that simple. When you work at things methodically, it's amazing how much, number one, gets done, and number two, how much you accumulate in that time period. And you don't think about it in that aspect, but it really does make a huge difference. Now, I'm going to tell you what, the people that just probably irritate me the most, that irritate me the most, because to me, there's no excuse, none whatsoever. I don't care what your circumstances are. I truly believe that we all can do something to help ourselves. You don't have to go out and spend big ticket dollar items. You know what I mean? You can slowly do it. But again, today, I had somebody in a comment, and I'm not kind of trying to call anybody out, so I'm not going to say who it was, but they were like, "Oh, well, I don't have any money to prep." Yeah, but I'll bet you this individual, and I don't know who this person was. I don't know their background. I don't know what's going on in their lives. But I will almost guarantee, because every single one of us are guilty of this. Every single one of us are guilty of this. They're pissing away money on something, cigarettes, beer, lottery tickets, drugs, whatever the case may be. Stopping and getting that Dunkin' Donuts every single day, or going to, what do you call it, like Starbucks, those type of places. Everybody is pissing away money somewhere, where they could take that money, and instead of using it on whatever vice it is, like I said, coffee, whatever the case may be, and use that money for something else. So when people tell me I don't have any money to prep, I always, in my head, I'm always, BS. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Now I can understand, a lot of older people on very, very fixed incomes, and so that's a little bit of a different situation. But eating out, people eating out all the time. Yes, I didn't even mention that one. Yes, that's a great. Yeah, all my friends have to eat out all the time, but they don't have any money to stock up. Exactly, and I'm going to tell you what. You want to talk about a huge expense? Go out and eat a couple times, and even like with fast food now, if you go to like McDonald's, realistically, you're looking at $20 for two people. That's a lot of prep items that you can get for $20 that you just wasted on going to McDonald's for one meal. So again, I have a hard time when people say that they don't or they can't. Those are just excuses. Those are excuses for people that don't want to. So again, that's that perpetual victim mindset. That's the victim mindset, and we don't want to be victims. Hey, Asa, James Ramsey calls Starbucks $5. Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. I mean, I've never gotten anything at Starbucks because I was never going to spend like $5 on a coffee. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. What are you doing it for the prestige so you can walk around with your cup? Look, I got my Starbucks cup. I'm so important. Never my thing. Go ahead and give me that cheap cup of coffee. I'll drink the cheap coffee all day. I don't care. And now, don't get me wrong. I like a good cup of coffee, but I'm just using that as a point. My wife and I have been living on less than 1,400 a month for years. She smokes and we prep. There you go, Okie Forge. There you are. It's a great point right there. If you want to, this is what I'm going to say on this statement of this. Okay, when people say that they don't want to, they don't have the money to prep. If you want to prep, you'll find a way to prep. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. You will make it happen. People are so full of excuses. It amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. But anyway, I digress. So reading an article today, and I wanted to share this with you. And I kind of wanted to share this because it goes to the mindset of people today. All right, and of course, I'm off track, right? I'm always off track. So before we get into this, really quickly, we're at 539 in the chat already. We're at 182 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction we have, positive or negative, but we obviously prefer positive, it really helps with the algorithms. It pushes us higher up in the rankings. So I would ask you to do that for that reason as well. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. It's just a fun little game that I like to play. So I thank you for doing it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. So here's something that I wanted to bring up. So there was an article that I read today. And there was these guys from Pennsylvania were down in Florida doing contract work. So for whatever reason, they were in Florida and they're doing this contract work I think it was for a grocery store, I believe. Well, the one guy punched his supervisor in the mouth, right? He leaves. It's like 2 a.m. What he does, for whatever reason he was pissed off or whatever, took a baseball bat and a knife, went into the shared house where they were all living. He beat one guy to death in his bed while he was sleeping with the baseball bat, killed another guy on the porch, and then the third guy, he beat him so badly that the gentleman died later, okay? And then he'd gone after another guy, and he hit that guy with the bat, but that guy actually got away. Oops, I didn't kill my volume on my phone. Hold on a second, guys. I apologize. All right. No more interruptions there. So what pushes a person that is trusted enough, and I want you to think about this, that is trusted enough to go from Pennsylvania down to Florida to work on this big job? What pushes a person over that edge where they get so angry and they're so mad that they're willing to go ahead and kill their workmates? These things have happened in the past. This is not anything new. Russ Williams says, I'm 73 on a fixed income and I prep. Exactly, Russ. Thank you for sharing that. And that's what it's about. Yep. How about them Cowboys? You got it. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I'll tell you what, two big draft picks. Diggs, he's 4 interceptions already. He's had an interception in every game. Playing I think he's got 5. I think because he had 2 today. And then you had the linebacker that they got out of Penn State. He had a sack today too. So they're playing much, much better. Still give up a lot of yards on defense. Don't get me wrong, but they're definitely playing better. So it's awesome to see. And their offense is just phenomenal. So Dak is the man. So anyway, you're seeing this more and more often, workplace violence. And I think, and they always used to call it going postal. Remember that back in the day? It was always called they're going postal. Well, that got to be offensive against postal workers. But when you push somebody and push somebody and push somebody, there is a breaking point. Always is, always will be. Sports keep the masses entertained. Absolutely they do. That's their intent. The Giants won. Oh, my God. Linda, woohoo! The Giants are 1-3. They're on a roll. I can't stand the Giants either, by the way. Just, but yes, the Giants did win today. I saw that. So I was actually laughing about that because they're pretty bad. The Giants are pretty bad. The Buffalo Bills. I got to give it to the Bills. I've always rooted for the Bills second. I've always been a Cowboy fan first, but I've always rooted for the Bills because they were the local team. They're actually the only team in New York. Because both the Jets and the Giants actually play in New Jersey. So I don't know if anybody did not know that, but they don't play in New York. Even though they're the New York Giants and the New York Jets, they play in New Jersey. But I've always rooted for Buffalo, except when they played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and we saw how that turned out now, didn't we? But no, they got a really good team. They got a nice young quarterback over there, and their defense, 2 shutouts in a row. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. The Bills look good. The Bills look really good. So, all right, now that's enough talking sports. But Yankees are in the playoffs. Woohoo! So I think we're playing. I think we play Boston. So I think Boston has to come to New York. At least I hope that's how it works out. We shall see. I don't even know, but I know that they're in. Um, what's your take on Biden administration wanting to know who has more than $600 in their bank account? That's a very good question, JJ. They're talking about it's one of the things that they want to try to do. Like if you do a transaction of over $10,000, right? Like if it's 10,000 on the nose, you're okay. But if it's 10,001, they want to. You got to fill out all kinds of forms and all this type of stuff. So they're trying to make it, and this is a point JJ is making. They're trying to make it so any transaction over $600, you have to go through these hoops and jumps to do these type of things, which is insanity. It is insanity because $600 in this day and age is really nothing. It really isn't anything. So, I mean, you can spend that really, really easy, really, really easy. So, cutting edge preparedness, and Boston is going to win, like they did in Fenway. The last three games they played the Yankees, that kind of winning. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a good game. It'll make it much more fun. So anyway, uh, I think it's ludicrous that this continued more and more scrutinization of people. And here's the another point of getting back onto topic. What is going to be the breaking point for all of us? Hey, Open House Texas. Hey, Ed, Europe economy is collapsing. We all know the U.S. is not far behind. So many people refuse to listen. They don't even want to discuss it. Frustrating when it's your own family. I completely agree with you 100%, Open House Texas. All we can do, again, you know what? You can talk to your family, to your blue in the face. You really can. If they're not going to do anything, they're not going to do anything. First of all, thank you so much for the donation and thank you for the statement. All you can do is control what you can control over. That $600 isn't even my feed bill. CC Farms. So yeah, I can imagine. Especially if you got a decent sized farm, you're going to spend a lot more. Um, you can control what you can control. You continue to prep. If you decide to help your family and your relatives, then you do it at that time when that time comes. If not, those are hard decisions that have to be made. We all have to make the decision of who we're going to help. Asa says, correction, they want to track all transactions in any account with a $600 or more. A teenager with a part-time job would qualify as ultra rich. Yeah, I just think that it's ridiculous. Thank you very much for the statement, Asa, as well. And yeah, it's any account over $600, and I think that's insane. I think that is exactly insane. And any kind of transaction over $600. It's bad enough that it's 10,000. To be honest with you, because it's just more control, more control, more control. And so my point: when is going to be the breaking point for the American people? Just like the person that I talked about earlier down in Florida that went down there and snapped, and he ended up killing three people. And now he's going to be probably, facing the death penalty because I think they have that in Florida. So he's probably going to be facing the death penalty because he went in and maliciously killed these people. And what's the motive? Because you were pissed? I'm going to tell you what, I've been pissed plenty of times. Plenty of times. I think most of us have been, but most of us realize that rationally that's not a good decision to go in there and kill everybody that's pissed you off. But the same kind of mentality is there right now. I believe, and again, this is my opinion, I believe we're sitting on a powder keg. We have so many people that are so stressed out. I mean, on edge, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to take care of their families, trying to take care of their loved ones. And then you throw on, he didn't get paid for the work he did. JJ, oh, is that what he's, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Is that what they're saying? But that still doesn't say that you need to kill somebody. Barter precious metals and maybe piracy. Crypto will start gaining in popularity. Farm Girl Rebel just said. I'll tell you what, my personal take on it is I would never buy gold, and I will explain it again for anybody that's new in here that hasn't heard me explain this before. I absolutely would have junk silver, absolutely all day long have junk silver, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, dollars. Okay, I would have them all day long because they're still going to retain their value even if the dollar collapses. They're going to be a very tradable item to get different things. Now, I would prefer primarily to have tangible goods, goods that are going to be tradable. Think about this, and this is just something to think about. Razors in a post event. People are still going to want to shave. Ladies are still going to want to shave their bodies to wear wherever they want to shave their bodies. Men are still going to want to shave their heads. They're going to want to shave their face. So that would be something that would be very, very barterable, and or having something that other people didn't think about. So there's a lot of different things out there, but you should have some silver, in my opinion, depending on what you're comfortable of having. That's okay. That's okay. But again, you better make sure your other preps are squared away first before you start thinking about silver. Silver is a nice thing to have, a nice reserve, a nice hedge against everything. But having food, water, medical supplies, clothing, blankets, uh, a way to stay warm, a way to have another light source other than the power grid. Those things are probably should be your priorities first. When you have those things in a comfortable position, then I would say definitely invest some of your money into silver. Obviously, ways to protect what you have as well. You definitely need to invest in that as well. So, be it crossbows, be it, compound bow, guns, knives, whatever you feel, slingshots, all those different types of things. Because here's the thing, a slingshot's still going to work in a post event because you can always pick up as many rocks as you can find. If you have a weapon, when you run out of ammo, you're going to have a club. But now, obviously, you can get more ammo from people that are no longer with us. That's one way to add to your ammo and stuff like, and your gun collection if you see fit. But again, eventually, and I don't care how stocked up you are, you're going to run out of ammo. That's a fact. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to invest in precious metals, I would say silver. I would not do gold. Gold is too hard to get rid of. And I know you can break gold down into smaller sections, but silver is going to be definitely something much better in the long run to have. So I got to show you this real quick. That little black girl, she just knocked something over. So I actually bought, I'll show you what I bought today. Hold on a second. What did you do with that? What did you knock that down so far? So if you watched my video earlier today, um, I showed this earlier today. Okay, I have no affiliation with the company, anything like that. But these are awesome, awesome for your crossbow to have. It's a 2-inch blade, and what it does is it starts out like that, and on contact, that's what it does. It opens up and puts a 2-inch hole uh, in whatever you're shooting. So they're not walking away, you know. But again, these type of things here, um, a crossbow, right? They are a great thing to have because they're going to be silent. I think that's an important thing to have. Crossbow or compound bow, whatever you're more into having, I would highly recommend having that. Rage is all I use with my Expo and compound bow. James Osborne said that's cool. It's not cheap. They're not, I'll even tell you guys. What do you think? And James, you're not in. You can't answer on this because I know you know. What do you think 3 heads cost? What do you think 3 heads cost for the crossbow, for the blades? What do you think that cost me today? I'll give you a minute here. We got a guess of 48. We have a guess of 35. $39.95, 32, 80, 60, 75, 59, 60, 60 again, 25, 27, 25, 48. All right, I'll give you guys the answer. $41, and that was before tax. So with tax, obviously it was more, but 41 bucks for three of these. Okay, but in my opinion, if you are trying to hunt to survive and you want to make sure that that deer stays down and doesn't get away, there you go. That's going to rip through a deer and put a big old hole through him. And Dennis used, and actually the reason I got this idea, I'll tell you, was from Dennis up on top. That's the blade that he used to get that doe, because it's bow season right now, or compound bow. So that's why. That's why I was like, man, and he showed me he got that doe, and it ripped her apart, and it went right straight through the deer. He ended up pulling the arrow out of a tree. It went right into a tree. So, and then he had to track the deer. So, but that's what he used. And I thought, man, that's, since I have a crossbow and I have bolts and I already have, a lot of different tips already, I said, I don't have those kind of tips. I want them. So anyway, that's what I did. So, but good thing to have, really good thing to have. I see a comment here. Hold on, I want to read this. Nebraska governor is fighting back against the $600 law and has several other states getting on board with him, Okie Ford said. Yeah, they haven't made it a law yet. They're trying to pass it. It's not a law yet, but they're trying to get it to pass, which I think, like I said, again, it is, no, you don't have to register a crossbow. Nope. Lori Goldsmith is asking, do you have to register a crossbow like guns? No, you don't. Nope. So, but anyway, that's not a law yet. But again, these are things as we continue to move forward. I always call it, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this saying, the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? What's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? What's going to be the thing that pushes people over the edge where they say, I have had enough? They say, I had enough and I'm not doing it anymore. It's coming. I truly, truly believe it's coming. When I talked to you guys before, and I've said it, probably till I'm blue in the face, stock up on food, stock up on food. I think we're going to have food shortages. I think we're going to have huge price increases. And look at what the price increases have done from earlier just this year. Prices of food have gone up unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But $33.54 on Amazon. Barrelin Poor just said that. Oh, okay. Well, oh well. Yeah, that's. I mean, I didn't know that, but I was at the store today and they were there, and so I grabbed them. And get extra bolts while you can, brother James. You know what? And yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna be adding more bolts as well, and they're not cheap either. They're not cheap either. But yes, I will definitely be doing that, because once you either lose it or it's broken, then it's gone and it's no longer any good. So large pack of hamburger, $20 now at Walmart. Yeah, and that is insane. That what I would recommend to people. All right, if you can do it, go directly to a farmer and say, I want to buy a cow, and do it with several of your friends. If you can get 5, 6 people to pitch in all together to buy that cow, and then you break down all that meat, you're going to save yourself a ton of money to do it that way, because you're cutting out the middleman. You're cutting out all the people in the center that are all raising it as they go along. So a 23-pound turkey at Kroger's was $40. Wow, that's crazy. You know, large pack is pretty subjective. What weight? Ah, that's true. EV3 Dale. Yeah, yeah. It's like, what are Dina Walters said, I buy a quarter cow, and that, like I said, and that's the way to do it. If you can go in with a group of people, that is a smart thing to do. Again, if you are a hunter, you know, get out there and get that meat. Now, here's the thing that I want to remind people. This is really important because when I hear people say, well, I got 2, 3 freezers full, they're chock full of meat and stuff like that, which is great. And I think that's an awesome thing to be able to do and have. But if you don't have a way to keep those freezers running, if the grid goes down, there's a lot of food that's going to go bad really, really quickly. So that is something to definitely plan for. I want you guys to think about that. And I'm not talking keeping that meat cold for 3 days or 4 days, running on a generator and sucking every bit of gas that you have back in storage to run that for those few days. I'm talking about a way to sustain and keep that stuff cool long term. So, a generator is a great thing to have, absolutely. If you're going to get a generator, my recommendation, even though right now I have a gas generator, would be propane. Propane is definitely the way to go. Definitely the way to go. So, lost my freezer, spent 48 hours pressure canning meat to save it. There you go. Farm Girl Rebel just said that. Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. And that's the thing. You can have a freezer, and that's great. And I think it's a fantastic investment. But if you don't have a way to keep that stuff working in a grid down situation, you're screwed. And think about any kind of major disaster we have, the amount of food that is lost because obviously the grid, okay, Louisiana that just happened. There were weeks for a lot of these people that did not have power. So, your freezer's not going to last that long. It's just not. So, get a buddy heater now while they're at $75. We couldn't find any last winter. James Osborne said, very good advice. It's a good backup thing to have. Like I said, my personal recommendation to people, they have little bitty camp stoves that you can put inside of a tent, right? That you could vent out of a window. And so I had somebody made the comment, and I want to address this too. So you can vent it out of a window to keep a room warm. Well, what you do is you open your window this much, you put the pipe out the window so it has that, so you're not putting the carbon monoxide in your house and killing yourself, and then you block off the rest of that window to be able to keep that room warm. You can use whatever you need to. I would use some kind of metal flashing around that pipe because if you have something like that, but that's what I would recommend because you can go with a small one where you can feed it twigs, whatever small wood that you have and stuff like that, and even you can get the larger ones too. But it's something is opposed to nothing. A buddy heater is great to have, but eventually you're going to run out of the canisters unless you have hundreds of canisters, the 1 pound canisters laying around. Eventually you're going to run out of those. But with the little wood stove, that can save your life, and that could get you through a very long period of time to be able to survive that way. So I have a kerosene heater. Have to get kerosene soon for my 4 containers. Good idea, Sharon. Very good idea. Yep, I keep a certain amount of kerosene on hand myself, and I just like I said, I stock up on everything. People that see me, and if I ever really gave you a tour of everything that I have, you would think I was a lunatic. But once again, and I know I've said this many, many times, and I'm going to say it again, it's better to have more than enough than not enough. And when an event happens, you're going to have what you have. There will be no more running to the store. There's no more running out to get this, that, or those other last minute things. So if you're comfortable with where you're at and you think you can survive a decent amount of time with what you have, then you're good. But if you know that you can't, you better get your stuff squared away because again, none of us are going to get a warning when it happens. None of us are going to get a warning. And I truly believe we're headed into some very perilous times. Again, people are going to have to make decisions. Do you eat or do you take care of other things? I think eating's kind of important. You look at what is happening with food pantries now. They've tripled the number of people that are going to food pantries. That's not by accident. That's not by an accident. It's because people can't afford to continue to go and buy food like they are. They just can't. And I bought a brass connector that I can put on a 20-pound propane tank upside down to fill 1 pounds. I go to campgrounds and get like new 1 pounders to refill. Oh yeah, I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I actually have that same exact attachment. But I've never thought about going to campgrounds and getting the empty containers. That's very, very smart. And that's Mushi Prepping is saying that, guys. That's good advice. I'm going to say this again because I think that's a really fantastic comment. What they do is from a 20-pound propane tank that you use for your cookers and stuff like that, there's an adapter that you can put on that to fill 1 pound tanks. And with the 1 pound tanks, what Mushi just said was they go to campgrounds, get all the empty ones that people are throwing out like new because they use it one time and then they toss it, and you could use that. I think that's fantastic. That is really, really smart. Like I said, I have a bunch of 1 pounders already myself, and I have a bunch of the 20-pound tanks as well as my 330-gallon tank out here, of which I use maybe 40 gallons a year. So, yeah. But that's really smart. I like that idea. I hope others listening. The attachment is only $8 on eBay too. James Osborne just said. There you go. Oh, Meth Cooks used those 1 pounders. Yeah, there they go. Yeah. So there we go. Just connect with your meth head friends and get the 1 pounders when they're done. But no, but I think that is a great, great idea. And see, okay, this is why I love doing this. I love doing this because everybody is looking at things a little bit differently. Everybody has a little bit different ideas. And I think that that's a great thing. And it makes, something that I would have never thought to go to a campground and pick up the empty 1 pound containers. Never would have thought of that. So thank you. I absolutely will do that. I can think of several campsites that I could go to locally where I'm sure they do exactly that. And I'm being good, still drinking water. I haven't had, and I'll probably will drink green tea because I'm not counting that in my challenge to myself. But I will tell you this: I got on the scales this morning, and in the first 2 days, I've already lost 3 pounds. So, doing well. And I actually haven't had the cravings yet. I haven't really gone like, oh my God, I got to have candy. So I'm actually doing pretty good. So, but yes, and I attribute part of the 3 pound loss to moving stone the first 2 days. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it because that's quite the exercise. But cutting out those things that are sugary and not good and carbonated, I think that is. Yvonne said, "Me too. Ed, I've lost 3 pounds. Awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. So we're just gonna see what happens with this challenge, and it's for the entire month of October. And I will be honest, if I lose a substantial amount of weight this month, it's not like I'm going to go into November and be like, okay, now I'm going to go nuts. I'm not. I plan on continuing to keep going with this. So, but I'm in an apartment, still considering getting a camping wood stove, though. You absolutely should. Absolutely, you should. It's Clyde Hamcat. Absolutely, especially in an apartment. If you can keep your apartment warm, and you have a window that you can vent it out of, then you're good. You know what I mean? You're good. So, yeah, it's more water. I lost 42 pounds in 4 months. Catbird prepper. That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. And so, guys, this is another thing that is really, really important with prepping. And I'm going to encourage all of you to do it. I think a lot of us are carrying around too much weight. Again, myself included. So I'm not like trying to preach like I'm some kind of string bean here judging people because I'm absolutely not. I think a lot of us need to lose excess weight. It's going to make us feel better. We're going to look better because we all want to look pretty. We all want to be pretty. Um, but it's going to make you feel better. You'll look better. You'll have more energy. And with doing that, it's going to put you in a better position as well in a worst case scenario when something happens. Not only that, but also it extend your life. I mean, you don't have to give up everything that you love. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. Uh, Again, anything in moderation. I mean, down the road here, once I get through this month, like this month, I'm not cheating at all. But once I get through this month, here and there, I'm too sexy for my shirt. That's right. Here we go. No, I'm like it. Um, but uh, but I will definitely partake in some candy and stuff after this. But I'm going to make sure what I do is I'm absolutely going to limit myself. Like maybe 1 day a week I can have some sweets or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm going to definitely really lock down on this challenge to myself and see where it goes. So, but again, I also plan on being very active. I'm going to be heading back down to West Virginia, and I think I got to look again here, guys, because I can't remember what day I said. So I got to look at my calendar, and I will tell you the 12th. I think I'm going to be heading back down on the 12th. So actually, like 9 days. So the 12th, which is a Tuesday, I am going to be heading back down to West Virginia to take the camper down there and get that set up, and then work on some more stuff on the new homestead in West Virginia. Anybody that's new that doesn't know, I bought 25 acres in West Virginia as well. I have my homestead here in New York. I have 3 acres here in New York. I am not getting rid of my homestead in New York. I'm going to keep both. I think it's a good thing to do. My homestead in West Virginia is in the mountains. I know it's hard to believe that there might be a few mountains in West Virginia, but there is. It's a lot of mountains in West Virginia. It's beautiful, beautiful down there. But it is. It's going to be, like I said, I'm going to be walking a lot while I'm down there as well, and that's going to be another thing to help keep that excess weight off and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be a good thing. So, but anyway, I'm well, what are we at here? We got 764 in the chat. We're at 387 on the thumbs up, guys. Again, if you have not, Ed, I'm heading to mine on the 10th. Have fun. Oh, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Well, give me a shout, man. Give me a shout. We'll talk. But anyway, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so and to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, then the higher up in the rankings it pushes us as well. So I thank you for that reason as well. Of course, the third reason is I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So thank you for doing it for that reason as well. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So I want to mention really quick, Pinball is having his get-together in Tennessee on the 16th. I do plan on going to that. Okay, so that is on a Saturday. So I would, looking forward to meet whoever's planning on going to Pinball's get-together. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And so, thoughts on protecting your out-of-town homestead from squatters? Well, it's isolated enough that people wouldn't be able to squat on there, number one. The people that I bought it from live out front, so they're watching. It is way, way, way out in the country. Trust me when I say that. It's way out in the country. It is, it's a drive just to get off the road that I live on. So it takes a while just to get off that road. And then, so town is not close. There's no town close at all. So everybody kind of watches out for each other as well. So, that's the way, like I said, so I'm not worried about squatters. I'm not worried about that at all, because there's enough people down there that would run them off if somebody decided they thought they might come down there and set up camp. So I'm not worried about that at all. And when the spring gets here, I will be spending a lot more of my time in West Virginia when the spring gets here. So that's kind of my game plan with that. All right, so time-wise, we're already at that time. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do egg count really quickly, and then we're going to talk more about the breaking point and stuff like that and everything that's going on and everything. I really want to get more into that discussion a little bit more. So what is everybody's guess for the egg count tonight? So I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses up there. So I'm going to give you the first right guess by somebody. And that guess was by Lulu, I think 59. Lulu 59 with 4 eggs. And the reason, like I said, again, my birds are molting right now. Thickneck has not laid now in like 5 days. They're all growing feathers. And that's another indication. Okay, so something to think about. Caterpillars. So somebody had mentioned this, and I thought this was interesting because our caterpillars up here are the same way. Caterpillars this year, this time of year, they're fat, they're thick, and they're completely black, which is an indication to me that we are going to be in for a very seriously harsh winter. And so that is, yeah, very lazy chickens. But, hey, it's that time of year, they're molting, so, you do what you got to do. So that's kind of the way I look at it. So I'm not too concerned. But anyway, they'll lay what they lay. We get what we get. Hey, Asif. Weather is my main hobby. Winter will be really cold in east of the Mississippi River. Prep for a polar vortex to visit us several times this year. Wow, that sounds awesome. Can't wait. But I will tell you this. I know, we have been in the. Thank you very much for the statement, Asif, and thank you very much for the donation. And thanks for the horrible news. Oh, I was going to mention this too. So, Alaskan Prepper. I don't know if you guys don't watch him. You definitely got to go over, support his channel. Tell him Prepper Nurse 1 sent you over. But they've already got snow. They got between 6 and 8 inches of snow in the last 3 days up in Alaska where he's at. And I'm like, and he's like, it's too early. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I am not looking forward to it. I'm really not. I heard very cold but dry. Yeah, you know what? We'll see how it goes. I mean, really cold can be not good. I've had up here at the homestead, I've had it as cold as the daytime temperatures, nighttime temperatures going down to, I think, 15 below was as cold as we got here. JJ just put the link up for Alaska Prepper, guys. But again, it's, it can get really cold up here. And the higher elevation you are, obviously, it gets chilly. Much different than town. Like, we'll have snow up here, and then I'll drive down into town, and they got no snow. And that's the difference in elevation. So I'm still planting in Pennsylvania. Good, man. It's good. Winter weather for southern Idaho and southern Utah. I have no idea. Rachel Evans. She's asking somebody what they. We had minus 30 about 5 or 6 years ago. Say no to it. Said that. Yeah, that's cold. I mean, I know they get it like on a regular basis up in Alaska. They get really cold up there depending on where you're at. But that's, Alaska's beautiful, and I'm not going to lie. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous state. It's probably more free than other places, but it costs so much to get anything up there because, it's just everything has to be shipped in. And if you were way in, if you were up there and you were way in, it really costs to get supplies in. So, but, you got to live where you're comfortable, what you like, and I think that's awesome. And if people, I don't want to spend 8 months of the year, dealing with that kind of cold. I mean, it's bad enough that like there are years here in New York where it's literally 6 months of complete crap. So, depending. I mean, if we get an early winter and then we get a late spring, you just don't know. Now, this year was pretty mild. This last winter was not bad at all. And so. But anyway, there's so much going on. There's so much pressure on people. People are under a tremendous amount of stress. And there's something I want you to remember too. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I have a tendency to repeat myself. I'm not trying to be redundant. But everybody on here, we got 743 people in the chat right now, right? Every single person watching this chat has something going on in their life right now that's unpleasant. Everybody does. Some irritation, it might be a small irritation or something that's bothering you or something to do with a family member or a friend. There's something going on that is affecting you right now. So I would ask people to try to be kind to each other, because we don't know what somebody's going through. Maybe somebody just got a cancer diagnosis. I got an email, and I gotta respond to this email. But there's a couple that lived in Florida, and the father just passed away, and the son wrote me. I think it was the son that wrote me, and he was saying that his father. He goes, every time I walked into the house, you were on. He said, so my father was a huge fan, and he was asking for, if I would write a letter or something to his mom. But I want to do one better than that. I want to call his mom, is what I want to do. Because it's just going through that. That's not pleasant at all. And so, should we keep money in the bank for a down payment? I wouldn't keep a lot of money in the bank at all. I wouldn't, and I'll get into that in just a second. I will answer your question. It's a good question, and I will tell you my thoughts on it. And you can do whatever you want to do, okay? But I wanted to. So I got that letter, and it really that touched me, that they wanted me to reach out to the mom. So I'm going to try to give them a call. So I got to write them back and say, give me the number for your mom, and I'll call her. But I just think that that's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? That's just me. I don't know. But anyway, addressing keeping money in the bank. If the lights go out tomorrow, can you get your money? If the banks tomorrow decide we're only allowing people to pull out $100 or $200 a day because inflation has gone through the roof, can you get your money out? You can't. Okay. My opinion, my advice is not to keep a tremendous amount of money in the bank. You can have money stashed. You can bury it. You can do whatever you want to do. Put it in a glass jar, bury it someplace, know where that is, and keep an eye on it that way. Me personally, I do not keep money in the bank, not very much. I keep enough to cover some bills, because there's a few things that I pay online, but other than that, no, I don't keep my money in the bank at all. Yeah, and a credit union is the same as the bank. Yes, it is, Andrew Schultz. Again, if and when, I should say when, because I truly believe it's going to happen, when the grid goes down, you're not going to have access to the ATM to get money, any of that type of stuff. So whatever you have money on you, or stashed in your house, or stashed, wherever you hide your money, that's it. That's all you're going to have. So I'm not a big believer in keeping a large amount of money in the bank. I'll tell you what I do with my money. I'll be honest with you. The majority of my money goes into tangible goods. It goes right back into prepping. That's where a majority of my money goes, because there's always the next project that has to be done, which always takes money. So that's what we do. We're always doing that, and I think that's something that I think it's smarter to have it in a post event. Will that money be worth diddly squat? Nothing. Not even the paper is printed on. But there will be a short window where that money still will have some value, that if you can get to someplace small store, and I'm not talking about the big box stores. I would not go to a big box store in a post event, because it's going to be a nightmare. Someplace smaller, off the beaten path, where you can go in and that money's still worth something. Go in there and do that, and get what you can, and get as much as you can while you can. That would be my advice. But I think silver is a good thing to put your money into. And does this include investments? That's you know we still have to live our lives. And so if you have investments in, say, the stock market or whatever the case may be, and you're comfortable with, because it's a risk, obviously that's always a risk. So I'm not going to tell you to pull your money out of investments, especially if you're making a decent return. I would not do that. But I would make sure that I had enough money, cash on hand, to be able to take care of things. We still have to live our lives. We don't know. There is no, on this date, this is going to happen. We don't know. We don't know when that date's going to be. So as long as you're comfortable with doing that, then, if it's not going to hurt you financially, then I would say leave it in there. So, But again, and JJ just said, investments can vanish in the blink of an eye. If you're willing to take that risk, that is completely up to you. And like I said, that's an individual choice that you have to make. Nobody can make that decision for you. But I definitely would make sure you had enough on hand to be able to take care of things. So, oh, Billy the Kid's throwing up the score. Tampa 3, Patriots nothing. I think that'd be hysterical if Tom Brady goes back into New England and whoops them. I think that would be hilarious. I think they got a really good chance of doing that today. To just, that's my opinion on that one. So, but have 3 to 6 months of living expenses and cash on hand. Okie Forge, which is really good advice if you can do it. If you can do it, then it's really, really good advice. Not everybody can. Not everybody can, and I understand that. And again, the number one priority for anybody watching this channel, in my opinion, should be number one, food and water. Making sure that you have enough food and water on hand to take care of the things that you need to be able to survive for a decent amount of time. So what's a decent amount of time? All right. Again, I'm going to give you my opinion. We need to survive as preppers, as off-gridders, until the next harvest comes in. All right. So my thing to people would be a minimum of 8 months worth of food and water put back. Now, water can be water purification things, having things to be able to purify water, because it's still going to rain, it's still going to do all those things. So you probably, unless you live in a desert, you're going to have access to water. So having at least 8 months worth of food, because I love when people say, well, eventually your preps are going to run out. You're right. But at that point, I'll have every piece of ground that I can put something in to grow in is going to have something growing in it. We're going to harvest the crap out of everything. We're going to can everything that we can can. We're going to have everything that we can put into storage. Um, Again, one of the things that I would encourage you guys to make sure that you have on hand to be able to plant. Number one thing, I'm going to ask you guys, this is a test. We're going to see this real quick. In the answers, one thing that you should have on hand to plant, one thing. If you had one thing, if somebody said you got one thing that you can have to plant, what are you planting? And I'm going to tell you what it should be. So I'm going to wait for your answers in here. We have squash, potatoes. Somebody says Mary Jane. That's funny. Corn, wheat. So see, I have so many smart people in this channel. You guys are so smart. If you had one thing that you could plant, it should be potatoes. Absolutely potatoes. Because why Prepper Nurse 1? Why potatoes? Potatoes is the one thing that you could eat nothing but potatoes and be able to survive. That's it. If you continue to eat potatoes, you can survive. Now, I would try to keep everything else as well. Don't get me wrong, but you definitely should have potatoes because they are going to keep you alive. And you take a regular potato, and once it gets the eyes on it, you can cut that potato up 4 or 5 pieces and plant them. You're going to get 4 or 5 plants from that one potato, and that they're going to produce a lot of potatoes for you if grown properly. So, we are going to probably next year. We dedicated 1 full bed to potatoes this year. I think we're going to dedicate at least 2 of our raised beds to potatoes next year, at least 2 of them. And but like I said, that's the one thing that you can eat that will keep you alive, and you don't have to eat anything else. Ask the Irish. The Irish know. So there's so many ways to make them too. Exactly, Gigi. Yep. There's so many ways that you can use potatoes for. So, but anyway, again, I would encourage you to try to have everything that you can possibly have on hand. But if you don't have anything else, make sure you have potatoes. So, but anyway, again, that would be my recommendation, because you're trying to survive until things harvest. First thing in the spring, what comes up first more than anything else? Dandelions. Every part of the dandelion can be eaten. So you can get that right from the very beginning. It's got a lot of nutrients in it and a lot of things that, like I said, that are really, really, really good for you. You can make dandelion wine if you want to. But dandelions, people call them a weed. They're not a weed. They are absolutely great thing. Sweet potatoes too. Yes. Yep. Paul Taylor just said sweet potatoes as well. Yep. Sweet potatoes are another great thing. Absolutely. So a steady diet of corn will make you lose your teeth. The sugar in the corn is the problem. Yeah, you got to, like I said, you got to diversify. You have to be diversified, and that's why I encourage people to get dry goods, to get canned goods, to grow your own stuff, and also the freeze dried food. I think it's hugely important to have all those things. Um, you know, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to get through until the wild edibles are coming up. And so that's another thing that we need to know. We need to know what our wild edibles are in whatever region of the country or world that we are in. What is there? What is edible? And oh, yes, let's not forget medicinal plants as well. Knowing what plants you can use for medicine to help you is absolutely very, very important. So again, I think that that's important. Yes, and you can make alcohol from potatoes as well. Yes, you can. Corn as well. Corn as well. So there's your grain alcohol right there. But there is, you know, you can survive, but you're trying to get through that first winter. And that's the important thing. And that's what people need to remember. You've got to get through that first winter when you can. And again, if your preps last, let's say your preps last, if you're diversifying in with wild edibles, whatever you're growing each year, and again, you got to remember each year there's no guarantee that everything's going to come up. Some years this plant might do well, another year that plant might do well. Like we did our, well, everything did good. I was going to say everything did really well in our garden this year, but like our uh, butternut squash, it's still growing. We haven't had a frost yet, so we're going to keep that going until it is time to do that. But they've done fantastic. The peas did great. The green beans and the yellow beans did fantastic. The tomatoes have done really well. We've canned a lot of tomatoes this year. Becky and Mom were making a lot of sauce, and then just making a lot of canned tomatoes as well. And so I want you to think about this. So I'm talking about like dry goods, right? Pasta, noodles, whatever kind of noodles you like. If you take elbow macaroni, a pound of hamburger, a can of tomatoes that you've canned yourself, right? Cook that all up. There's your meal. That's a good meal. A little salt and pepper, and you're good to go. But again, those are things that's going to be filling. It's going to be good for you. I think that you should absolutely have um, oatmeal on hand. Oatmeal is a great, great thing to have. And so, are you going to do field corn in West Virginia? No, Candace. The reason I don't generally do corn, period, because you can get corn anywhere, And if it's an SHTF situation, now I have corn on hand that if I need to grow corn, I'll be able to grow it. So that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like around here where we're at, there's corn all over the place. So I'm not going to grow my own corn if I don't have to. I want to utilize that space to grow other things. So, but there's, like I said, there's so many good things, to do. But again, our goal as preppers, off-gridders, survivors, right, of a post-event is to get through that first winter. That first winter, I don't care if you're in the north or if you're in the south, that first winter is going to be tough because a lot of people are not going to make it because even though you have the longer growing seasons in the south, people don't grow. People don't know what to do. So, and you get down to Florida, it's really sandy soil. So how good is that to grow in? So unless you have things established, unless you have, your raised beds and you work on your soil and you've been doing that, it's not going to be an easy in the park thing like people think that they're just going to put it in the ground and it's going to grow. There's a lot more to it, a lot more to it. So, but that would be my advice to people. Think like that. Plan ahead. You're planning on getting through this long of a period of time. The more preps you put together, it gives you an opportunity, number one, to help other people and also extend your time even longer, especially if you grow a crop and it doesn't come in and you were counting on that crop to survive. That's why you also have to be diversified in what you're planting. Really, really important. I made that mistake early on when I was up here. I grew, I think I put in like 24, 26 or something like that tomato plants, thinking I'm going to get a ton of tomatoes and I'm going to can the crap out of them and it's going to be awesome. Well, there was a blight that year. And out of all those tomato plants, I think I ended up with only 4 tomatoes out of all those plants that I could actually eat. So again, you prepare for the unknown, and that's what we got to think about. So that's why it's important to have your garden be diversified and have a lot of different options in that. But we really stayed off topic most of this stream, and I do apologize for that. I really did want to talk more about the fact that people are on edge, they're losing their minds, and it's not taking a lot these days for people to snap. An example is the one that I gave about the individual in Florida. Okay, don't take a lot for make people snap anymore, and so we need to be ready for when that time comes. Did an experiment getting seed from some of my plants. Never done this before. Oh, that's cool, Rob Anderson. Nothing wrong with that at all, and that's the way you should be doing it. You should be getting the seeds off of the plants that you grow. That's going to make a big, big difference. Old mixed sand or soil into the clay to break it up. Randy Romines just said that. Again, there's a lot of different things. You got to, whatever region of the country you're in, you should know what works and what doesn't work for you in that country, in that part of the country, or that part of the world, wherever you are in the world. It's important. Okay. So I'm going to do shout outs real quick because the time has gotten away from me once again. What a shock, right? Goes by really, really quickly, folks. Again, Alaskan Prepper, Alaskan Granny, Angry Prepper, Canadian Prepper is another channel. We have my boy Icky Can up in Canada. Also, Sean James with My Self Reliance up in Canada as well. Great channels there. Doug and Stacy is another good channel. Marfugal News out on the West Coast with Adam and Dax. Another fantastic channel. We have Green Greg's. We also have, obviously, Pinball Preparedness. There is Gray Man Prepping. Also, Southern Prepper 1 would be another channel that comes to mind. Camping with Steve. Yes, yes, he is awesome. Love his stuff. He's up in Canada as well, and he is fun to watch. It's a good channel. He puts a lot of good stuff out there. And something else I was watching today, and I was going to say I got to remember to mention them, and of course now it's gone. Oppenheimer Ranch Project with Diamond. Love his channel. Suspicious Observer, Corporal's Corner. A lot of good information there. Bizarrizza Jizza is coming back soon. He will be putting up the next of his Carrington event shows at the end of this month. The 31st is what he said. So Deep South Homestead is another one. Yes. So many good channels out there, guys, that we should be supporting each other. I think it's important to support each other. Bushcraft Bear. Yes. That's what, well, I was thinking about him too, and I didn't think about him. Bushcraft Bear is giving all the information from La Palma in the Canary Islands. Awesome, awesome guy. Love him. I think he's fantastic. Please go show him some support. He's given updated, honest information of what's happening over there, and I think that that's very, very cool. Okay. Wrangle Star is another great channel. Guns and Gadgets. Yep, I actually like that channel as well. So, yep. But, but Bushcraft Bear, guys, go check him out. He is awesome. Yeah, he's saying it's getting bad over there. Yes, he is. And again, I like him because he's been very, very honest, telling people what's happening. And so I think that that's a really cool thing. And the guy's just genuine. And I really, really like that. Survival Lily. Yes. You know what? I haven't mentioned her before. I like her stuff as well. I think she's awesome. Appalachian Homestead. Yep. There's another one. Yeah, like I said, I don't always think about all the channels, but there's so many that I'll like peek in on and check and see what they're doing. What's the one? Girl in the Woods. That's the one I was thinking of also. Another great, great channel. Her and her husband, and he has, God, what's his name of his channel? Bush Radical. That's the name of his channel. Then there's Magic Prepper in North Dakota. Yep, he's got a great channel too. BP Earthwatch. Yes. Yep. Great channel. So, but again, it is amazing to watch all the different viewpoints, and I think that it's important that we go and support all each other, because we are a small niche community. Realistically, we're not some huge thing, and I'm not playing video games and have 2 million people watching me play video games. And good for them if they can do it. That's great. I got better things to do. Demcad, yes, great channel, Paul Taylor. Really intelligent guy, gives a lot of really good advice. I like him too. Bull Hansen, yep, another one. So yeah, you guys are popping all these ones. And again, I watch these different channels, and I think that they're amazing. And so it's funny that. But anyway, so there's a lot of great channels out there, and I really think we should all be supporting each other. And let's do that. Tell them Prepper Nurse One sent you over, and like I said, we should be supporting each other. But absolutely. Yeah, Survival Lily she's got a lot of great information. Yep, Prepared Mind. Yep, he's got a good channel out there in California as well. So, but again, North Shore Preparedness, 80K man. God, I'm like missing so many people. um, so there, yeah, a lot of great channels again, and I think we should support each other. And again, if you go to a channel that I recommend and you don't like their channel, then just unsubscribe and don't watch. That's all I ask. Don't troll them. Don't say anything negative. I don't think that that is a good thing at all. I was attacked by a man who tried to kidnap me out of my own home. My 15-year-old and 34-year-old saved my life. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad that you got through that. The Uneducated Economist. I have watched him, Ofsiv. Yes. I like his channel as well. That's another good one. Yep. So Full Spectrum Survival. There's another one. Guys, you guys are banging them out. So, but yes, okay. So that's it for recommendations. But there's so many good channels out there, and again, I truly believe we should be supporting each other. So, really quickly, because we've gone right from that to the time is going by so fast, we're going to do We Are Legion. And we are the good Legion, like the Roman Legion, like the American Legion, not the one example of the bad Legion in the Bible. We're a good Legion, okay? So we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We have upstate South Carolina. Asif. Really? I didn't know that. No, I did. I'm just kidding. I know exactly. We have Georgia. Let's see. North Highlands of California, Ontario, Canada, Northeast Georgia, Brookings, southern coast of Oregon, Port Orchard of Washington, Arizona, Oxford, Pennsylvania, BC, Canada, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Somerset, Virginia, Navajo Nation in Arizona. Welcome. Let's see. New Jersey, Alberta, Canada, Central Florida, Daphne, Alabama, Montana, Kentucky, Northern California, Dayton, Ohio, Endicott, New York, Nebraska. Let's see. We have New Jersey, Michigan, Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Miami is in the house. Welcome. Let's see. Decorah, Alabama, Ohio, West Indiana, Northeast Missouri, Utah, Palm Beach, Florida, Campbell, Missouri, Mesa, Arizona, Ulster Park, New York, Georgia in the mountains, Western Colorado, Hollywood, Florida, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Missouri in the Ozarks, Central New Jersey, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Louisiana, Salem, Ohio, Wisconsin, Virginia, the UK. Welcome, Jay. Let's see, Virginia, Arkansas, Arizona. Let's see, we got Alabama, Florida, the Nutmeg State, Southwest Texas, Western New York, Grove City, Pennsylvania, East Texas, Satara, Arizona. Oh, there's the other channel I was thinking about, folks. The ones in Arizona. The couple, husband and wife. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. One of you guys tell me so that I know. Because I know you know who I'm talking about. Eckhart, Indiana. We have Pennsylvania Strong, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sunbury, Ontario in Canada. New Hampshire. Fort Lauderdale in Florida. What's the name of that channel, guys? Let's see, Michigan, Bumstead, Florida, Middle Tennessee. Something green. Yeah, the Green Dream Project. Yes, that's the one. Green Dream Project. Want to give them a shout out too. Nice young couple, um, making it out in the desert, and they are just. I think they're doing fantastic. So yes, that would be another one that I didn't mention before. And I mentioned Doug and Stacy, guys. I mentioned a lot of the other ones, but I didn't mention them, and I really wanted to make sure that I mentioned them. But again, we are all over the place, guys. We are all over the place. We're a huge network of people. We are the ones that really can make a difference now, and we're also the ones that can make a difference after a post event because of being ready. Doug and Stacy are in Missouri near St. Louis. Yeah, so but we're the ones that really can make a difference, and I think we should do as much as we can to help people. And if you decide you don't want to help people, try to help children. That would be my advice to anybody, because their kids. There's going to be a lot of kids despondent. There's going to be a lot of kids that don't have anybody there for them. So I think it's important that we try to be there for them if we can. All right. So, but this has been a great chat tonight. You guys have got some great questions, which I think is awesome. Yeah, that's Deshaun Jones just said, I encourage everyone to get out of the cities, get back to farming and off the grid lifestyle. That's great advice. And I'm going to say the same thing. I agree with you 100%, Deshaun. I think that we should get back into being more one with nature, with the earth, being as more self sufficient as we possibly can be. It makes such a difference. And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to make a difference in your stress levels. It's going to make a difference in how you feel when you get up. It's a completely different animal from being in the city to being in the country. People in the country are much, much more willing to help out. They're kinder. They really are. And I'm not saying that there's not kind people in the cities. I'm not saying that, but it's just a different mindset. I've lived in the cities. I've lived in suburbia. I've lived in the country. I grew up on a farm, so and now I'm back in the country again, and I will never go back to suburbia. I will never go back to a town. I will never go back to living in a city. I like my space, and you know, I that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So just definitely a different kind of life, and it's so funny because with having this channel and meeting as many people as I have met, and again, I look forward to meeting more people at Pinball's get together. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But it's meeting like-minded people that are on the same wavelength. It is amazing that you could just sit down with any of these people from different backgrounds, different parts of the country, and you get along because you're all thinking the same. You're all thinking the same. And you know what the best part is? We're not just thinking of ourselves. That I think that's the best part to me. So anyway, I want to thank my moderators who are absolutely awesome. You guys are fantastic, keeping the chat clean. I want to thank you for doing what you do. And I know you come in show after show and you keep things squared away. You guys and ladies and gentlemen, you guys are the best. So I do appreciate you. We have also all of you that watch. You guys are fantastic as well. Absolutely fantastic. And great questions, great feedback, great things that you don't think about, just like with the whole cylinders, 1 pound empty cylinders all over the place at campgrounds. Never would have thought of that. And somebody mentions it in the chat tonight, and I'm like, my God, that's a brilliant idea. And so, and everybody's got campgrounds near them. Everybody does. So I definitely will be going and looking to pick those up as well. I think that's such a fantastic idea. And but anyway, what else was I going to say? Like I said, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate all of you being here and the support for the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Also, remember, guys, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. And as soon as we can look at it from that perspective and stop looking at color, stop looking at race, well, that is color, but religion, political affiliation, vaxxed or unvaxxed, all these stupid things that they want to continuously push us to try to be against each other. If we can see through that nonsense and look at each other as human beings, as people that are just like us, that want to survive, they want to take care of their families, they want peace. And that's, I think, what everybody at the end of the day, not everybody, but most people want, and I think that that's awesome. So I think that's what we got to stop letting them win. We got to stop letting them win. Also, remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. And I think it's important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. All right. If you stay positive, stay away from negative people that want to try to bring you down, you're going to get so much farther in life. You have to actually feel sorry for those people because they're miserable and they hate themselves and they hate their lives and they can't stand to see other people happy. And it's sad. But you know what? You got to get them out of your life, those type of people, because they're going to try to drag you down with them. And so don't let them do it. Stay positive, stay happy. And happiness is a choice. Absolutely is. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. Have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, just real quick, I will be doing my live stream for my hardcore preppers only. So if you are interested in that, you go to my main channel of YouTube. You will see the join button. You can join that way. On Mondays, I do a live stream for my hardcore preppers only. All right. So if you are interested, it is there. If you can't afford to do it, I totally get it. I'm still going to live stream 3 days a week. That's not going to change unless I'm in West Virginia, obviously. Then I'm usually just trying to do videos while I'm down there and that type of stuff. So I hope everybody's doing great. I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.